got it going. Awesome. All right. So now that I know how you met Shola, all right. So tomorrow when we talk, we're going to talk a little bit about your whatever you're working on right now. I know since you got that Nigerian blood, you probably got like several things going on. The podcast that I'm doing is mostly to highlight different Black founders, both Black in the U.S. and Nigeria. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Washington, D.C. My stepdad is Nigerian, right? So I grew up in a Nigerian household. So even though I was born Black American, I everything I grew up was Nigerian.
Was Nigerian? Oh, nice.
So it's interesting growing up as Nigerian, but being from both cultures. Like the Nigerian side would shade me, because they're like, "Oh, look at this American boy! Look, right?" And then the Black culture would be like, "Oh, this Nigerian boy! Oh, Nigerian booty scratcher!" You know, I grew up in between both of these dichotomies, and so it made me see the world through a different lens. And then when I met Shola, I was like, "Look, here's the thing about me. Like, I grew up in both cultures, and both cultures didn't fully embrace me. So it made me move differently. And so what I want to do now is, when I start to do business in the mindset I think of when I'm going into my entrepreneurship journey, is I want to connect Blacks in the diaspora with the Nigerians and reclaim, and reconnect, right? Because there's so much that we can do together,
of course,
and rebuild that business structure. I was telling her, like, look, even if Africa got on one accord to use one currency, they would be the most powerful country, or the most powerful entity in the world. You know, and that's all we need. And if we could somehow start to shift the way we see each other, do business with each other, and build with each other, and then highlight all the success we're doing, is going to be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what your thought. What's your thoughts about that? Now that you're over here in Boston, like how is?
Yeah, I think we're kind of siloed, and there's a lot to learn from each other.
Right.
So, but it's good to see that you know, especially for our generation, I think people are starting to recognize that, you know, you really can't move alone. You can't do things alone. So it's good to collaborate and meet with people of like minds, because that way you go far. And so that's one of the things that actually attracted me to Shola, because I've had this idea that has just been sitting and cooking in the corner for years. And she'd always wanted to be in the media space. And so, I mean, I really can't talk too much about it. I don't know if I can, but, you know, we're sort of getting ready to pull minds together and pull, you know, resources together to see how we can push it forward. So that's there's power in numbers. Yeah, there's power in collaboration.
So what story would you like to highlight in the podcast that we're going to record? Because some of the things
highlight.
So here's some of the things I want to highlight is your journey into entrepreneurship, how you got there.
Sure. I think for me, if there's anything, the one that really kind of stuck, that really that might seem sort of easy and lowest hanging fruit for me, might be, you know, being able to keep it moving, even when adversity comes. So I don't know if Shola told you, I'm also like a chef and a restaurateur. And so in 2017, I set to open a restaurant in the South Shore area. And the same day that I received my my certificate of occupancy, my medical doctor told me I had stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh, man.
But, you know, today I'm alive.
Yeah.
And the business is still alive. I mean, even, you know, COVID happened.
Yeah.
But even with COVID, there's been silver linings here and there, you know, that has kept us just being resilient and not giving up. We joined World Central Kitchen in the summer, and we provided food to frontline workers. So that, that kept us going. So our doors were open. We didn't shut down. We haven't shut down this year.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know how to put it, I think George Floyd's death amplified, the need to support Black-owned businesses and Black foodpreneurs around that time. So we got visibility.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was an adverse event, but it gave us visibility.
I love that.
So
yeah,
if that's something that you want me to talk about,
I would love for you to talk about all that. And then at the end, I want you to kind of give other inspiring Black entrepreneurs, females like yourself, some words of encouragement, and then like 3 tools of the blueprint to your success that maybe they can take away.
Yeah. I have what I call an adversity toolkit that I use. I talk about it in my blog. And the first and foremost, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. That's the first thing. Because I think one of the things that I've noticed amongst especially Black people, I know for Nigerians, is the shame factor. People feel
prideful.
like, we're prideful. Exactly. We're prideful. So, and I tell people, I say, look, if my breakthrough, if my help is in the hands of a 2-year-old, I will submit myself to the authority of that 2-year-old, because that's where my help is coming from. End of story. It is what it is. There's no, oh, he's 2. What does he know? Blah, blah. Because unfortunately, that's how our culture is. It's like, oh, what do you know? What do you want? And it doesn't work that way, because you never know who's going to lead you to your next destination.
You never know.
So never, be open to receive help from anywhere.
I love that.
At any time.
I love that.
From anyone. That's my number one mantra. So that's number one, and then of course the second one is, whatever you can control, you can control. Whatever you can't control, learn to surrender.
Yeah.
And then finally pray. You gotta pray. You gotta believe in something higher than yourself.
Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel.
You have to. Otherwise, you would unravel so quickly. It's a that's the thing people don't tell you. You read all these books about entrepreneurs, and I think there's so much to be said about, this is how Bill Gates started in his garage, and look at him today. Yeah. But then nobody knows the up. We're not really the ups and downs, the topsy-turvies, the mental breakdown, the days of near bankruptcy, or not knowing when the next Series A funding is gonna. Like, nobody really talks about how they deal with that. So for me, my hope is that when people come to me and ask me questions about entrepreneurship, my hope is people know the basic things. Yeah, you got to have a business plan. You need to know your market. You need to blah. Yeah, okay. Now we understand that. How about the mental side, the other side, or the dark side of entrepreneurship? That's what you want to call it, or the side that forces you to build resilience.
Yes.
Because you need it. You're gonna need it.
Especially for the Black community. Now, like because we have so many other things on top of that, layered trying to start the business, right?
Thank you. So I mean, for me, it wasn't. And I look around, and the truth is, I'm blessed. I mean, here I'm in the US. I don't need my husband's. If you have a good credit, I don't need my husband's credit. I don't need his name to go to a bank. I've been blessed. I built my credit, started my business. So I didn't have those things that you would call like barriers like that. I mean, of course, the other thing, of course, is the other thing that I will also love to emphasize is just networking and mentorship, because we need that a lot. It's something that is really lacking, that we need to really work on. So, because that will take you far if you're able to stand on another person's shoulders. What if I told you there was another restaurant owner in Boston who told me about the opportunity for Off Their Plate? I had tried to apply and I didn't get it, but because I had a relationship and I come to respect her and honor her as a forerunner in the community, somebody who had gone ahead, tested the waters, knows what it is to run a food business in a very competitive market, and very feisty people who are very quick to criticize you if the salt is not enough in the jollof rice, and she's still standing. 8 years from now, she's still standing. Yeah. She was the one that called me and said, "Toyin, have you applied? They're coming to Brockton. Go ahead, reach to this person." Yeah. And that was how I was able to get my foot in the door. And the funds from there helped us. It went a long way.
Yeah.
Went a very long way. So, those are, if that's okay with you, those are things that I want to.
Let's talk about it. You know what? That's a good story. So so let's save it for the podcast.
Okay.
And then at the end, I'm gonna say, so how do people get in touch with you? How they support you? What's some ways we can like really be a part of your community? And then you tell us how to do that, and then some of the things you're working on.
Thank you.
Sounds good?
Definitely.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's gonna be a good one. Woo!
Thank you.
I'm excited. So thank you for taking the time with me, and I'll send
you
another link for tomorrow's episode.
Yes,
so it'll be separate. All right. Any questions for me?
So tell me about yourself. I know you lived in another house. So where are you now? What are you doing? What's cooking?
All right. So originally from DC, born and raised in DC, and
so you're doing podcasting stuff right now. So building your own media company. How's that going?
This podcasting thing is new for me. So I got a radio show that started first, and it wasn't even my radio show. It was a friend of mine's radio show, and then they asked me to come be a part of it. And then from that, people started reaching out. You know what? You should do a podcast about your journey, because I'm into the diversity inclusion space in HR, and I'm one of the very few Black people doing it. And I started it from workforce development, building programs. And I would say 2 years ago, doing workforce programs, building like jobs in the community for, Black youth, and then from disabled workers and veterans and so forth. My name got out there somehow to Google, and Google wanted me to promote this event around entrepreneurship and tech startup space in the Black and brown community. And so I did, and then they told me to be a part of it, invited me. And then it was like a pitch competition weekend, first time ever attending. And then I was part of the group that won that pitch competition, Shark Tank style. That's when I started meeting with angel investors, all new world for me, right? And from that, gained more relationships, and then I started giving them knowledge on the government workforce development side and how it can integrate into the startup space. And then that's how I started to grow this brand of mine. And I was like, there's something here. I'm gonna continue to chase this because I think this is bigger than me.
Nice. Where did you meet Shola? How did you meet her?
At a startup week here in San Diego. Another friend was working with her and then said, you know what? You got to meet Shola, because they knew about my Nigerian background, knew about the information. And there's like, they was getting things from her mind and things from my mind. And then when they started, like, you guys just need to meet because it's two brilliant minds. And she knows this side that you don't know. You know this side. And then both of you guys come together. It's going to be magic.
Sure. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Because they kept piggybacking between both of us. There's like, all right, they'll like Shola one thing, and then they'll come over to me.
And then they'll come over to you.
To ask the other thing. And I was like, well, that's going to work only if you do this. And they're like, and they kept going back. They're like, you know what? You guys need to meet.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. So, that's going to be the story tomorrow. So, the story of resilience.
I love it. I love the story of resilience.
Especially now, in this climate, it's like, everybody could use some resilience.
Absolutely.
Everybody could use some. Thank you.
All right. Well, I look forward to tomorrow. Come with your Sunday's best. And
I sure will.
Let us go.
I will. Let's go there. Let's go there.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Alrighty. Bye.